Hi all. So today topic is very important for all of you. So sorry for the long break. So I have come after a long break. There was some issue. So I took a lo- break of around 1 week. And now today I will start new topic on SD-WAN Viptela. But this is not related to SD-WAN. This is the concept of failover, right? So failover is very important. So that I have seen that failover is required, right? Either you are on traditional routing, right? Either you are doing on traditional routing the failover, or you are doing routing on when I'm saying traditional routing, it means non-SD-WAN, okay? And when I'm doing SD-WAN routing, it is not traditional routing, right? So in this video, I will explain in detail, right? What is failover, why failover is required in traditional routing and on SD-WAN, and we are going to understand the failover concept. And one of the most important concept in networking in a very simple and practical way, we will cover what failover really works on SD-WAN and non-SD-WAN, right? So let me explain failover, right? So anyone ask you what is failover, right? So failover means that let's say you are doing, you have two router. This is SD-WAN router. The concept is same, right? And this is also two router, SD-WAN router. And you are aware that we have a T-lock, right? And there are two transport, one on primary, one on secondary, right? So in this case, let's say we have MPLS on the primary router and we have internet on secondary router. So failover means if I will set MPLS, right, the traffic should be routed to internet, right? So this is the concept of failover. But first of all, let me explain in detail that failover, what we have done since last 20 or 25 years, that without SD-WAN router, we have one router here, right? The router is connected to the ISP, okay? Then there is a second ISP. Uh, we have one more router at the same site, right? Then this is non-SD-WAN, right? Then we have a core switch. This switch can be stand. Maybe it should be SSO driven switch, right? Not SSO, sorry, VSS switch, right? So it has connectivity from both the routers, right? Let's say we have BGP running on WAN in the traditional router, right? The same approach we are doing since last 25 years. We have protocol OSPF running on the LAN, and then this is an L3 switch, right? Then after L3 we have L2 switch. Maybe we have multiple L2 switch at the site, right? It depends upon the port density, the number of users at the site, how many L2 switches will be installed at the sites, right? So I believe this type of setup, if you are working right professional, then you are doing failover for this type of setup, right? So the first approach, right, which you cannot do right in real life, right? You cannot set your WAN, you cannot set your LAN, right? This should many person, right, maybe set their LAN or WAN to the to failover the traffic, right? Let's say first scenario one, right? I believe you are aware that we are doing a redistribution here, right? If you want, please comment that what you required. Maybe I can explain how we can do redistribution as well, right? Protocol BGP to OSPF to BGP. And here, let's say if the protocol E1 or E1, right? The metric here should be higher, lower, sorry, not higher, lower, and here the metric should be higher. So this part should be preferred path, right? And then we have some time of AS path prepend applied on both the side to make it primary or secondary. So the approach which I will not suggest you to do in real life, don't ever set your WAN interface. Let's say if you will set your WAN interface here, right, you will lose the access, right? And maybe in case your second ISP is also down, then the complete outage of your site will happen, complete outage, right? Because you have already set your WAN interface on the primary, and sometimes maybe due to any issue, your secondary, this interface or this transport is also down, then there is a complete outage at site. Maybe this is banking site, so maybe you can lose your job as well, right? So don't ever do this type of mistake in your life, right? So let me tell you the correct approach, right? So what should the approach? I cannot suggest you that you can WAN, set your WAN or set your LAN ever, right? To do the failover. This should not be the correct approach, right? So what is the correct approach here? So the correct approach should be the metric manipulation, right? So you should play with the metric, right? Don't do easy stuff, right? Play with the metric manipulation. You should know. First of all, I will tell you in BGP there are multiple attributes, right? Like there are AS path attribute, there is med attribute, there is local preference attributes, there is a weight attributes, right? By which you can influence your inbound, outbound, and inbound routes, right? So far you like my this video, please like and subscribe, right? Like and subscribe my channel, and in the comment section to mention that yes, I understood, so that I can prepare multiple videos on of how we can influence the route as well, right? So, or in OSPF, as per the scenario, we can take the metric. Means metric here is your cost. It can be your E1 and E2, right? So let me draw the diagram and then I will explain. If you want, if you can send me the comments, maybe I can make one more video and will explain you, right? So how we can do, in terms of the command, I can explain you how we can do manipulations, right? So this switch is basically VSS switch, right? Uh, I hope you understood what is VSS, right? And this is your BGP, this is your OSPF, this is your BGP, this is your OSPF. From the ISP, you are getting the route, you are distributing in OSPF, you are distributing in OSPF and vice versa from OSPF to BGP, right? So let's say the route metric is even, and from here the cost which you are injecting is 100. Okay, manually you are doing it, and here you are doing 200, right? So what will happen? This is your L3 switch, this is your L2 switches, multiple L2 switches. Users are sitting on L2, maybe some wireless or wired client is there also there, right? So what will happen? The traffic will, this is your, this would be your trunk port, VLAN concept, all those things I cannot explain in this video, right? So what will happen? The traffic will route on this primary router, and there is no connectivity, right? There is no connectivity here because this is non-SD-WAN. So the traffic will go via this path only, and the return path you can do AS path, right? You have already AS path. So if you want to do failover, right? So what you have to do, that you have to prepend AS path on primary router, okay, and primary router, right? Primary router, and on the secondary router, you don't have to do anything, right? So prepend AS path on the primary router and increase the metric of even, the metric of even on primary router. So let's say you're doing the prepend on BGP, increasing the metric. So what will happen? The traffic will force to leave, right, from this router, and as we have increased the AS path on the primary router, the return traffic will also come through secondary router. So there is no need of doing set of this interface or this interface. Just pick the metric and you will get the failover done successfully. And if this is ask interview, then never ever say that I have done failover by doing the set or no setting down the interface of the primary or secondary router, right? But in SD-WAN, the failover happened automatically, right? There is a concept that we don't have to do any SLA. So what SD-WAN do, it also always monitor latency, jitter, loss, right? So let's say if we have latency, jitter, and loss, these are called SLA parameters. These are SLA metric or parameter. So real time, let me write down here. So real time times probes done from the SD-WAN on per tunnel interface, per WAN interface, right? And in case of any issue, the traffic, this is any issue is there, then that is called, one term is always asked in the interview, what is brownout and what is blackout, right? So brownout means if your SLA parameters are not matching and the traffic switch automatically, this is called brownout. And if there is a complete outage at the site, this is called blackout, right? So always remember the term whenever asked, what is brownout situation in SD-WAN, what is blackout situation, right? So these are also very important that you should know what is brownout and what is blackout. So in SD-WAN, failover is done on the basis of application, right? Done on the basis of application. Applications are very important in SD-WAN, right? Your routers, SD-WAN router know the application, each and every applications through DPI engine, right? It identifies the application on the basis of DPI, that is Deep Packet Inspection Engine, right? And then automatically do the failover. It is not on the basis of links, right? In traditional router, the failover happen on the basis of link, On the SD-WAN router, the failover happens on the basis of application. Let's say we have a Teams voice routing on link A. Link A means, let's say for example, MPLS, and we have a file download happening on link B. Let's say that is internet. And if any issue, let's say link A develop jitter, and which is outside our SLA parameters, then traffic will be automatically shifted to your internet, because these are traffic are called sensitive traffic. So you don't have to manually do the failover in your SD-WAN. Now, in case you have to do failover, let's say there's an issue, right? And someone tell you that, okay, there is some issue, the links is switching sometime between primary and secondary router, the link is flapping, all those things comes on the SD-WAN as well, right? And then you have to do the failover on your SD-WAN router. So let me explain how we'll do the failover on the SD-WAN, right? This is your SD-WAN router, two SD-WAN boxes here, and you have your ISP, means your MPLS or internet link. On the LAN side, there is no ACI, so this is an L3 switch, right? Uh, Protocol is running. Let's say we have a BGP running here, BGP running here, right? So you can do changes, right? Without setting, you can do increase your metric here, right? But you require some changes on the SD-WAN template, right? Template you have to change if you don't want to do any set of your LAN interface, setting down your LAN interface. In the same way, on the WAN interface, there is a OMP protocol running, right, on SD-WAN. So on the you can change your uh, T-lock color and encapsulation, right? So these are your OMP attributes, right? So in T-lock you can change your preference. You can increase your preference on your primary router, right? Then the traffic will come from the secondary router, right? And even from the LAN side also, the traffic should be routed on the secondary router without changing or without setting your LAN or WAN interface. But this is tricky because you don't have to define the configurations on the router, so you have to do some changes in the template, right? But this template you can do per site, right? Because we cannot do changes on the device template, right? Per site, you have to apply the template. You have to define a new feature template. It's a tedious task, but this can be done, right? Feature template in BGP, you have to do changes. In OMP, you have to do changes, and then you can achieve, right? But let's say if you are not, you have no right to do the changes in the feature template or device template, right? But still you want to do failover, right? And there is some issue, maybe you're not confident, right? And someone is asking you that go for the failover in SD-WAN scenario. So my suggestions will be if this option is not available to change anything, because normally a template change is very sensitive in SD-WAN, and means your devices don't have the right of doing the changes on your device, right? So what should you do? You can set your LAN, right? You can set your LAN interface here. You can do shutdown, okay, and T-lock also. T-lock also you can do shutdown. So both thing you have shut down your LAN and your T-lock, but you have not shut your WAN. Do remember, never ever shut your WAN, right? Either it is SD-WAN or your non-SD-WAN, right? So in SD-WAN, you can set your LAN interface, you can set your T-lock interface, right? So shutting down your T-lock interface, shutting down your LAN interface, right, will force the traffic to come from this side, and the traffic will automatically shift to your secondary router, right? So in short, let me write down for all of you. I will write it down for non-SD-WAN. What should be done? What is the possibilities? The possibilities is change or manipulate your routing protocol metric, routing protocol metric. Do not set your LAN, do not set your WAN ever. Okay. On SD-WAN, changes can be done with edit in the device template specific to the site itself. Don't do any changes in the device template or feature template which are attached to multiple device, right? So if you comment, I can explain how it can be done. But my suggestion is, if you are not an architect level guy, don't ever do changes on your device and feature template, especially when it is attached to multiple device, because once you do any changes in your feature template and device template which is attached to, let's say 2000 sites, then all your sites will be down, right? So don't ever do that. Okay, if you comment me, maybe I will make another video, right, how we can do through the feature template and device template. The best option in SD-WAN to do the failover is your set your LAN interface going towards your core switch, and set your T-lock interface. Okay, you know very well that there is a sub interface, right, in a T-lock. So set the main interface of T-lock, and then your traffic will be routed to secondary router. Now, I hope you will watch this video, and there are multiple videos also attached in the playlist. So do see all the videos, and please like and subscribe my channel. Okay, like and subscribe my channel. Now I have changed my channel name as well. That is Anand Network Tutorial. My channel name is Anand Network Tutorial, right? And if you need any help, please comment me. I am ready to help. And these are very important question which can be asked in the interview, that okay, how will do the failover in case any issue. Failover is not an option, right? Before doing a failover, you have to do lots of troubleshooting yourself. And if you are 100% sure that this issue cannot be resolved until we do failover, don't ever do failover, right? Because they will ask you, the management will ask you, the client will ask you that why you did the failover. If you are seeing an issue on the LAN side, if you are seeing issue on the ISP side, if you are seeing issue on that cannot be resolved, and there is a might be there is a P1 or P2 or P3 case going on, and the time is limited, then you can do. But let's say if the troubleshooting can be done to resolve any issue, maybe there is an issue with some prefix, right? That can be done, that can be resolved. Don't do the failover, right? So I will wait for your comment, and I will try to post multiple videos in this week. Thank you. Bye.